As weeks rolled on, coronavirus still lingering, a boy and his dog, what shall they ever do? But gasp, an idea has struck his head. Honestly, why don't I just start making more videos? And now we are dialed in, ready to make some videos. I've been in New Orleans. I was going through the archive right now, and pretty much I was looking up some of the projects that I didn't really get a chance to finish because we kind of got slammed into this whole quarantine situation. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty, I'm kind of bad at it. Well, no, scratch that. I think I'm actually very good at organizing my footage. Once I get home, I copy everything and save it. However, I think computer's making noises in the background for some reason. Need to mute that. However, though, for this one video that I'm about to show you guys, essentially, I don't know what happened to the footage beforehand, of the vlog beforehand, and the footage I shot after of it. So I literally just have this footage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys it. This is the video that I shot for my buddy Kevin. We went up, and we'll just be right back.
I maintain flight level 220 on 13412.
Alright guys, just fucking finished up our flight right now. Shout out to my awesome fucking pilot friend Kevin right here. If you ever need a pilot and you want to rent him, let me know. And make sure to follow him for some of his awesome fucking flight information. And we are back. That's the video right there. Yes, my buddy hit me up last second essentially. Was like, hey, you want to go flying with me? I'm like, dude, let's go flying. That sounds awesome. He's like, right now. I'm like, I can be there right now. Luckily, he's like maybe 15, 20 minutes away from me. So we went over there. But the premise for this video is I actually wanted to talk to you guys and show you guys what gear and why I chose it. I actually took four cameras with me actually. I had my Red Scarlet W, Canon 1DX, and I had two GoPros with me. To me though, every camera it's a tool. Every camera has its pros and its cons and things that were great with it. Let me start off with first. Let's dive into the Red. Why I brought the Red. Number one, dynamic range. A lot of times in scenarios that I'm shooting, I don't have the ability to change the lighting on the fly, things like that, to tweak something. So I need as much dynamic range as possible, and the Red shoots RAW. That's 16-bit right there. A lot of cameras on the market are 8-bit, some are now getting to 10-bit, but you get full 16-bit RAW, which gives you so much flexibility. Shoot a little overexposed, you've got the highlight information saved. You've also got your shadows, you've got information there as well. Let me show you. For example, this clip right here I'm gonna be showing you guys. It's a picture of Kevin. He's inside of the plane right now. I shot it a little bit overexposed because I wanted to capture some of the information of him, that shadow detail, kind of aiming to expose for him. However, you notice, okay, I lose all my highlights in the sky, cloud details, things like that. But I knew I was shooting on the Red, and I knew all of that information was actually saved. If you go in here and you take a look at it, I can just change the ISO right now, and boom, you can see you've got all of the highlight information retained and saved. So I'm not too worried about it. Now coming back to to the point with the Red and why I love it, that's one of the big saving graces, is the image quality. It just looks so good being able to shoot with it. One of the downsides though, and I'm gonna say in this scenario, is the footprint. Scarlett W, and I actually run mine very minimally, like kind of run and gun style. Just kind of still how cumbersome it is. Again, we're in a little tiny, I'm gonna call it a two-seater plane. There's a couple seats in the back, but it's a pretty tight fit, and I literally have that camera, hold on. I have this camera literally like pressed up against my chest. Obviously it had a lens and a battery on it, so it's kind of like this. But I have this camera, I'm trying to get angles, and it kind of doesn't help that the little tiny 4.7 inch screen on the Red, it doesn't really articulate, so it's a lot of times like I'm just doing kind of, I hope I'm getting a good shot. Again, not bagging on the camera, I'm just being realistic about the camera. Love it, however, in that scenario, it didn't help. I also ended up bringing my Canon 1DX Mark II. It's a Mark II, actually. And I love this thing. Such a well-built camera, durability-wise, everything like that. Reason being I like taking this is the stills that this camera can actually capture and pull out of it. Obviously it's a DSLR, it's taking incredible photos. That's always great to have. But then they definitely really stepped it up with the video. So you're getting 4K 60, come down to 1080p, you get 120 frames. Come on, who doesn't love slow-mo? Let's be real, do a quick YouTube search. Everyone shoots slow-mo, 120. Anyways, big reason I love this camera is also the form factor. This is it. It's this Red, and weight too, a lot more heavy. But I mean, if you look at these two cameras, you could just see the size. Yes, this doesn't have a battery again, or a lens on it, but you can see how much it starts to stack up. There's sometimes when I'm shooting, I need to get a shot quickly, and let's be real. Camera's already on, ready to shoot. Red takes about like 35 seconds to power up. So when I just need to get a quick shot, I'm just like, boom. Okay, 3 seconds, maybe 4. I'm ready to start shooting. 100mm macro doesn't really help out when I'm starting to like shake it around. However, downside of it ends up, let me turn the camera off. Downside with the 1DX Mark II though that I start to find is the lack of color depth in the information. You're shooting somewhere between 8 and 10-bit. 10-bit definitely is a lot better than 8-bit. Going from a Red to that, I have to then be much more careful with what I'm exactly shooting. I have to, when I see a shot, I have to be extremely careful with my highlights. I gotta know like, oh, okay, I've got that same shot that I shot with the Red that I showed you guys. If I tried shooting that with the 1DX and trying to recover those highlights, like they're gone. They've gone nuclear. They don't exist anymore. That is just white. So those highlights are gone. So I have to be very careful with how I'm shooting. I've got to be a lot more conscientious because I don't have the forgiveness that the Red typically has for it. The nice thing with the 1DX and why I like to take it, it's kind of self-sufficient. This is one of the batteries for the 1DX. That will last me maybe, I don't know, hour and a half or something. Let's just say an hour and a half. Can't remember. It gets me a good amount of record time. I bring about 3 of them with me. They're fully charged. I can usually get about a good day of shooting and stuff like that on them. With the Red, I have to usually, I'm typically, and I'll show you, I've got to carry 4 batteries minimum, 98 watt hours. That will give me about 90 minutes. I'll say more like an hour and 15 minutes. So I have to carry 4 of those. I have to carry usually a charger because I don't want to be worried that I am carrying all this weight on my back and my camera's gonna die and I'm gonna have no way to use it anymore. So I have to typically carry a charger with it. Media is super low profile. Most of you guys have probably seen the mini mags. They are super tiny. Something gonna happen now. One here, boom, tiny little guys. Really nice to have. Those take up no space. But going back to doing this shoot, I ended up using both cameras because again, the red I knew was going to be more forgiving with the dynamic range, so I was able to shoot things like that with it. And then there were points where I just wanted to use the 1DX because I just needed to get some extra coverage that I knew I might have missed with the red. Not gonna lie, being in such a small place, it's kind of hard to pull focus off the barrel, so the 1DX does have a pretty good autofocusing system with the native EF lenses. So there were a few times where I'm like, I'm gonna put in an autofocus just so I know I'm actually getting the focus that I need, and these shots are actually gonna be sharp. So it's hard to say which camera is better in this scenario. Red versus a 1DX. I mean, again, red's image quality, amazing, but the form factor of the 1DX is a little bit smaller, and having that autofocus can definitely help you out at times. The other contender in the far, far background we haven't even talked about is the GoPro. So with the GoPro, that guy just kind of gets slapped wherever, and you lose him, you lose him. Let's be real about that. That's what a GoPro is. It's your throwaway camera. As you can see, I had 2 of them on me for this trip. I had one actually hooked up to the wing. I think it got about an hour of record time before it died. We were only in the air for maybe about an hour and a half. And then the second one was inside with us. I had a suction cup, and so that was kind of just getting bounced around from the inside of the cockpit, kind of working its way around, kind of getting some just BTS clips of everything. So overall, ultimately, if I had to pick red or 1DX, I still probably think I would take my red. And the biggest factor behind that is the forgivefulness of 16-bit raw image pipeline, which essentially is allowing me to make exposure mistakes and being able to fix them in post. Kind of my biggest reason why I would probably be taking that camera if I had to pick one. I very much love the image out of that thing. So if you guys are liking the videos that I'm starting now to do, taking advantage of my quarantine time and putting some of these things together, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe. Subscribing helps a lot too. It shows me that you care about me, and that means I care about you. And I appreciate you guys for watching this video. And until the next one, guys, wow, I butchered that. Until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.